What is going on, guys? DragonTamerBlayde here, and we're gonna have another one of these let's talk videos. This time we're gonna be talking about the new client. The subreddit is currently on fire. Steam forums are on fire, I assume. I assume the Bethesda forums are on fire. I'm gonna try and be the voice of reason in this situation. I know a lot of you are probably upset, and a lot of you are probably angry. I'm not saying don't feel that way, but I'm going to try and be here as a voice of reason for you guys. The first thing that I want to touch on is the good. There is a lot of things that I love about the new client. This may be because I have a powerful computer, but these menus work very, very well for me. Everything's snappy. Look, there's just like all the menus, the transitions are quick. It's much better in that regard. Just everything works nicely. I love that you can see the full art of the card in here. Just reveals more details. The premiums are updated. They are not all completely updated, but they're getting some that haven't been added to the game are being added. Just the menus are working a lot better. I'm going to hop into solo arena so that we can talk about some of the things in game. But as I'm talking, I wanted to touch on some things for you guys. The difference between a minor bug that is annoying or a minor bug that is ugly and something that is major and or game-breaking or something like that. But we'll get into that. First, I like that the lane introduction transition. I think that looks very nice. I'll put that back. I love the new boards. I saw some of the preview boards that we may get in the future. I love that. Just there is a lot of really great things in the client. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's a lot of bugs. And mostly minor cosmetic bugs, but there are some major bugs that I've read. But you guys have to realize the difference between something that is major and game-breaking and something that is just annoying. For example, the sounds in this game sometimes can get off sync. So an effect will trigger, or you'll hear a sound before it happens in the game or way late after it happens in the game. Some of these attack animations can be a little awkward.
Let me kill for you.
Some of these voice lines I know some of you guys don't love, but those are minor. And then you have to kind of combo it with, like, look how nice these new card frames look. So, like, you got something that you don't love, but you also gained something that's amazing. So, I don't know in that regard. But the only real major bugs that I've seen so far have been the sounds not being in sync. My mobile client kind of just doesn't work. There's a weird issue where wherever I'm pointing and aiming, the game tries to point me in another direction or click something else. Like, that's something major that needs to be fixed, and I'm sure it's very high on their radar. But like the voiceovers that some people don't like, that's not a big deal. The biggest thing that I want to kind of advise you guys is be patient and be calm. I know the reaction at the moment is just for everyone to freak out. The world's on fire, this game's burning, we're all going to die. But it's not like that. The biggest thing that we can do at the moment as a player base, and as people who I'm assuming that we want this game to continue to get better, is keep a list. I actually have a notepad list. I'll pull it up for you guys right here. This is only part of it, but I do have a list right here of all of the major, minor, all the bugs that I'm finding in the game right now. I'm writing them all down. Because you have to look at this as, I don't want to quite say a redoing of the beta, but we as players have an opportunity here to shape the future of this client. So, with something small, like I wrote down, this is a super minor thing, but I think the unique legendary gem should be larger. Like, I think that one should be a little bit bigger just to make it more evident to new players that it's a unique legendary. If there's ever going to be a time for this to happen, it's going to be now. Like, now is the most likely time that this can change. So as players, we need to be diligent in writing this stuff down, making sure we forward the feedback to the appropriate channels to make sure that we're getting the type of game that we want in the end. And I know it's much easier said than done, and I know I probably sound like I'm being a shill right now, although I can assure you guys, there's nothing in it for me. I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm literally just saying all this because I really like this game, and I don't think things are as bad as everybody feels they are right now. Some other positives. I'm trying to stick to the positives here. I do think that the client is lighter. I do think that the games are playing nicer. I think this is going to look a whole lot better when all is said and done. We're already on that front of the games looking better. But if, for me personally, some small things got cleaned up, like the visual blinkings, the sound being out of sync, and my mobile client working again, if just those 3 things got cleaned up, I'm okay with a lot of the smaller things that are currently occurring. I think one of the smaller bugs that I've seen, that's like Almalexia's Disciple, when you exalt it, it heals but doesn't show as being healed, so that's a little awkward. This ring probably should go away after it's done being used. But these are all very minor things. Let's put this over here. But yeah, the biggest reason why I wanted to put out this video is, and I'll have a longer discussion on the client at a later date, but I wanted to urge you guys to kind of just take a breath for a second. I know a lot of people are upset, and if you decide that you don't want to stick it out with this game when it's all said and done, that's obviously your choice. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you choose. But I'm trying to urge you guys to see that this game is only going to get better from here. There's no way, and I'm saying this as a software engineer, so like this is my job. There is no way that in this short amount of time they could have completely put out the same client into a new client while also making the speed improvements and stuff like that that we're receiving. So I'm not even going to attempt to get into the logistics of who owns what in the contract between Bethesda and Direwolf. I don't know if there was situations where code had to get pulled because it was proprietary to Direwolf. I don't know, and it's not my business to know. I'm not going to really get into it because it's too late. It's already in the past. But if you wanted this client that works much faster and looks much nicer, although cosmetic things are usually just pasted in, but if you wanted this level of niceness, it had to come at a price, and that's rewriting the game client. And there's no way to do that full rewrite in that short amount of time and not have bugs exist. Especially because I'm thinking of this as my own work. If I didn't write code, and I'm taking somebody else's code base, unless it was impeccably written, I have to figure out what they wrote, why they wrote it. You don't know what kind of bug fixes existed in the Direwolf client that may have been kind of, I don't want to say janky, but hacky bug fixes that were in a weird location that it would be hard to tell if you weren't the one who had wrote that piece. You don't know if there was maybe something about the structure, the core structure of the game itself, maybe the way that it implemented with Steam, that they could no longer use since it was a Direwolf property or part of Direwolf's code base. There's a lot of different things that could have and probably have gone wrong along the way to get us to this point. But the fact that, for the most part, and I've only played a couple hours on this new client so far, so I don't want to claim that I've thoroughly play-tested this thing. But I've played a solid amount, and in all the amount that I've played, really haven't run into too many major issues. There's a lot of stuff that I'd like to see cleaned up, but nothing that's really severely impacting my ability to play the game. So yeah, I like I'm saying, I'm just trying to drill the point home that things probably seem worse than they actually are, guys. I can assure you that everything's going to be fine once they get some time to work on this new client. And I think another major point, and I guess this will be my final major point for now, No matter how much playtesting or... Because a lot of people I've seen have been like, well, didn't Sparky Pants QA test this game before they put it out? I don't know how large Sparky Pants is or how many Bethesda employees they were borrowing to get this done. But I can say that no matter how many employees, even if they had, let's say, a QA team of 15 people working on this game, 40 hours a week for a couple months, that time pales in comparison to just how much playtime this new client got in the couple hours post-release. There are hundreds of thousands of us playing this game, and assuming that a decent amount of them decided to play the game as soon as the new client launched, a couple hours after that new client launch, we probably exponentially more playtested this client than Sparky Pants or Bethesda could have even attempted to do together. So it's only natural that we're going to find a lot of weird and quirky things that they just couldn't have caught on that scale. We have hundreds of cards that interact with each other in thousands, if not millions of ways. There's going to be stuff that slips through. So all I'm begging you guys to do is, if you encounter a bug, well, A, if you decide to stick around, and if you still want to play Legends, if you want to leave, that's on you. I mean, I can't stop you. No one's going to stop you. Do what's best for you. But if you're planning on sticking around, the only thing that I can ask of you is when you run into something, either minor that you would like to see addressed or major that breaks the game, instead of just going on Reddit or Twitter, and I know this is the easy thing to do because we're all really emotional and we're really passionate about this game, but instead of just going online and flaming Bethesda or even specifically targeting CVH, even though he's really had nothing to do with this besides speaking to us, and I don't know if you guys can remember back in closed beta, one of the biggest complaints about this game was lack of communication. So now we finally have CVH that communicates with us all the time, and people are just jumping down this guy's throat. I feel horrible, but that's a different point for another time. Instead of going online and just kind of flaming the game and roasting CVH and doing all that stuff, take a screenshot of the error if you can, record the error on a video, save it, maybe write down some steps to reproduce. This is what you would do as a QA tester in the real world, and I know it's not your job, but if you like this game and you want this game to improve, write down these steps, write down the bug, get as much information as you can, and if there is a central bug tracking thread on Reddit, post it on there. Put it on the Bethesda forum, wherever you can to get their eyes on it. Just get it in their hands, and I promise you that they're going to address it. They didn't just put this out because they wanted a cheap re-release so that they can save money on Direwolf. That's not what they're doing. I don't think that's what they're doing anyway. I truly believe that they want what's best for this game. And we just have to have a little faith here and a little bit of patience, and I can assure you, as someone who only just plays this game because I like it, I get nothing out of this game besides enjoying it and enjoying sharing it with you guys. I do think we're heading in a better direction, and we just need to take a little bit of time to clean up some of these cosmetic things and fix some of the issues that have popped up along the way. So just please stay patient, guys. Just please stay patient. Please be kind. Yeah, that's it for now, guys. I'll have a more in-depth review of what I think about the client in the future, but I just kind of wanted to give this knee-jerk reaction to kind of address some of the fires in the community at the moment. And maybe you guys, I don't know if my viewer base is part of that fire or not, but you guys are in the community, so if you're not part of that fire and you see someone else, just spread the good word and just spread the positivity and try and get everybody on the same page here. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll have a regular content video up later in the day as well. So thank you, guys. I'll see you guys then. Peace.